Coming up, the Royals visit Downton, and Anna leads a revolt. Branson plays a hero, and Mosley is gobsmacked. All that and more coming up.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for Downton the Movie. We can't wait to break this down. I'm John Comerford, joined in the studio by the irreplaceable Tamara Berg.
Hi, everybody.
And the irrepressible Courtney Stewart.
Hello.
So, okay, first of all, it's great to have him back.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but it was nice to really sit and relax and just enjoy it.
Yes,
And get overwhelmed by it, because what the big difference about seeing it on the big screen and all its grandeur and lavishness. Did you guys have that kind of experience?
I was sitting in the second row watching the movie and
purpose?
feet up.
I was like, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
feet up on a recliner. So one of the opening shots is their drone, which we haven't seen before.
No.
And oh my god, I loved it so much. It was just so great being able to see, first of all, that vantage point,
Sure.
and then the massive screen. It was a great joy and a pleasure, and I just kind of snuggled in and went, yeah, this is going to be good.
Agreed. I mean, I've spent however many years we did
Sure.
Downton Abbey watching
Absolutely.
it on a computer. So
Yes.
not even really on television for the most part. I mean,
Right.
occasionally, but generally I watched it on a computer and come in and talk about it. So it was awesome to just be sitting, and I'm in the back of the theater. I can't sit on the screen. But it was great. This exact same shot. It you just immediately you smile, and
I
the
know.
golden light, and it just
Oh my God.
It was just so.
All right, so let's
pleasurable.
continue with this, and then let's expand upon what it was like to see it as a cinematic rather than a TV show, but a film version. But just overall impressions of the actual film, Tamara.
I really, really enjoyed it. I was looking for a little more of a heart tug.
Oh,
Which we can talk about more when we get into it. But all in all, it was incredibly satisfying, and I'm so happy being back at Downton Abbey. And I wore my beaded dress.
Yes,
She did. You
Yes,
guys
yes,
can't see it, but it's really pretty.
I have a beaded gown on just for you.
Quite lovely. Quite lovely.
yes. And Courtney.
I would say the same. It was a pleasure to be back in that whole atmosphere. I did find it a little bit cheesy.
Okay.
It did.
All right.
But it still worked. Like it still
Right.
worked for me. Like because I'm so involved with the characters and love them so much. It didn't matter to me that it was like a little goofy at some. That I was like, oh, really, guys? But it's just funny. It was cute, and it was enough laughter out loud moments,
Right.
especially with Violet, that I can't believe that the thought that I won't get it again is
Yeah, I know.
it was sort of
Yeah.
like the heartbreak came all over again after having dealt with it when the season ended.
Lord Comerford.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, the first thing was, as soon as it starts, and the way they started, we'll get into that too. But I was just like, oh, that's all right. Yeah, this is good. This is gonna be fun. Anybody who's a fan of Downton will like the movie. I think they. Julian did a great job trying to incorporate so many storylines and make sure every character has his or her moment.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very successful. And a lot of times in movies, I'm usually ahead of the movie. I kind of know where it's going and stuff like that. But when you're in the hands of somebody, they do such a good job. I just was able to relax and I didn't think about it, just to experience it rather than, figure out what's happening. So that was nice, because I just got to just sit back, relax, and let it just flow over me.
That's so interesting, because I was like seeing some of the things come a mile
I didn't
away.
want to. I didn't want to.
I did see them come a mile
I absolutely, and I knew they were coming and everything, but I didn't care.
Ride with it.
Just ride with it. And I think, and this is why I want to get into the cinematography, because I thought the way they opened it was great. Because even if you don't know Downton, I thought that was great how they put you in the time. Because they start with the letter, of course, and it's the calligraphy, and it's on the
It's got a seal.
It's the parchment kind of
paper.
And so instantly you're in a different time. So even if you don't know Downton, and the fact that it gets transported it gets carried down the hall by the footman in his outfit, his uniform, on a train, and the way they're sorting the mail, this is no email situation. And then the cinematography of following the train and the countryside and the locomotive and all of that. And then that drone shot that you had mentioned earlier as you come in. Right there, I mean, they just put you in the time right there. right?
They sure
Absolutely.
did.
I thought, wow,
100%.
they're putting a lot of it on the screen.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was a great job. Just again, for those Downton fans, to see Downton in a different way. On many occasions, they took different angles and different shots and drones and all that other stuff. And you went, wow. And for me, clearly it was bigger, at least.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because we're seeing it on the big screen. But I go, wow, that is a huge cast.
It's so. I kept thinking, I was like, wow, that's a lot of land too. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so much.
Exactly. I don't think
I
don't think I ever got the full scale
didn't get
of
the
it.
scale for sure until I mean, obviously we knew it had to be huge, but like, whoa, it was really huge.
Yeah.
In doing research, I listened to a podcast that had Donald Woods, who's the production designer for the movie, talk about and TV show as well.
Right.
And he talked about how the cinematographer Ben Smithard had not done the Downton Abbey TV shows, and so he was able to find different angles, and we did. I mean, we absolutely saw parts of the actual house that we hadn't seen before, and so I really appreciated that.
And a great idea, a great choice, because then you get to see it from a whole different point of view.
Yeah.
This person's never, done the work, so he's seeing it from a different view.
Yeah,
So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And even inside, some more research was, they rebuilt the kitchen on the stage, on the set, whatever. So there was a bigger kitchen, even though it's the same kitchen. So we even and just the care they took in really showing off not only the Highclere Castle, but really covering the locations better. So and there was a different village. They used a different village, and even that was I didn't know that, but I learned that in
Giving
research.
away all my
Oh, did I? I beg your pardon.
Tricky things.
I'm
we're
sorry.
gonna talk
Tamara has
about
more to say about that later.
Exactly.
Beg your
We'll
pardon.
learn later. But yeah.
But I just was overwhelmed with all of it. I thought the way they shot it was you could really see where they put the money, and you get to see greater detail on everything. And I imagine we're not getting. Well, let's just say the costuming, ladies. Since
let's talk costumes, shall we?
a lot of people tune in just for that. I wasn't really paying attention.
How could you not pay attention?
It just doesn't.
Hello, Edith has looked the best she's ever looked in life.
Ever.
Ever,
Oh my
ever.
God. I loved her underwear.
I know.
The underwear
all the little
scene.
slips and
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Just
Okay.
lovely.
Because she had to take off the dress.
The giant
Yeah, because
dress.
that's the part I
There were
remember.
things that she was wearing.
That
Like,
didn't
she
fit.
got out of her clothes, but
Yeah.
what was under there?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was beautiful.
Right. So, Jonathan, if we could pull up that color, the blue dress. This was a blue dress that Lady Mary wore. It's got lots of kind of micro pleats, and it's this incredibly dark, deep kind of midnight blue. So beautiful. And it's
What scene?
Sorry,
remember
what
what
scene?
scene?
I don't
Okay.
actually. So yeah, one of the, we usually watch the show, or I usually watch the show at least twice before we do a
Twice, yeah.
podcast, and take copious notes the whole time. And we only got to see the movie once, and you should see the notes that I took in the dark. They're like, so we're heavily relying on our memory on this, and I don't remember
Did the
them.
usher talk to you about piracy? Or
I
anything
know,
like that?
pretty much. I was ready to take like shots of things.
I wanted to take pictures.
Anyway, the Lady
Yeah.
Mary dress, it's so beautiful, and it's I think it's a Fortuny, who was a famous designer, and
Of the era?
kind of still is. There's still Fortuny. He did lighting. He did a lot of costumes and things like that. So anyway, that was one of the standouts for me. Did you have any standouts?
I was obsessed with when Edith did the headband that was like crystally, and then she had the
Crystally?
like
Do you mean
diamondy.
diamonds?
And they were so large. I was like, are they diamonds? Oh my God. Because they were really large.
Yeah.
Like they were very large. But then she had the layered necklaces that matched. And I was really into her accessorizing in this episode.
Yeah.
Well, not episode, this film. Oh.
So from Entertainment Weekly, I found an article about Anna Robbins, who did the costumes, and I have a couple of things that I wanted to mention about that. So Lady Mary and Cora Crawley both wore actual vintage pieces in the film that they were during the ballroom. The ball towards the end of the movie. So for Lady Mary, Robbins said, we used a French beaded gown from a vintage trader that we painstakingly added beading to in order to make it floor length. So they took this vintage gown and then added to it. So, and Lady Mary had a tiara that was made of Swarovski crystals, but Maggie Smith's tiara
Yeah.
was an actual 19th century platinum and diamond number from Bentley and Skinner of Piccadilly and contained 16.5 carats of brilliant cut diamonds. Wow. Right?
Jeez.
Amazing.
See, if you're a dame, you get to wear that.
Yeah, I thought that
They
was
gave
really
it up
kind of
really
exciting.
nice.
And that
Yeah.
I didn't find that until after
Yeah.
we saw the movie. So I need to go back and watch it again.
I wondered about
just
those
see that.
tiaras on the Queen and on Princess Mary and on Violet. So.
Yeah, so the one on Dame Maggie Smith was definitely.
And for the
Real
gentlemen,
deal.
the downstairs, the footmen had liveries that were special, handmade and custom made, I should say, not handmade. So,
Nice.
yeah, that's all I know. I know nothing else.
The end of John's
That's
costume.
right.
You know a little something.
It was
yeah.
nice. They look good.
You know, one of the other things I heard talked about was that, you know, in the TV show, there were often multiple costume changes, especially
Sure.
for people upstairs.
Yeah.
And that was still the case during the film, but not as frequent because we didn't have, you know, 5 costume changes for during every day the way we did during the TV show. But the costume designer, I think, is the one who was talking about it. She was just saying that, you know, it was very interesting because the downstairs people had time to just sort of chat and hang out.
They don't have any costume changes.
They don't have any work
But
to do.
but the upstairs people were constantly, when they weren't
Fittings,
on screen, they were getting fittings with the costume department. So there's one of the benefits of being downstairs.
And I imagine
got one
because it's on the
outfit.
big screen, you get to see all of that, and you certainly see it on the screen. And was it overwhelming for you as you're seeing it? Because I know you guys always talked about it when you watch a TV show.
I mean, I literally went into it like excited. Like that was what I was looking forward to. Like, ooh, you get to see all of these dresses on screen, and of course, there's going to be a ball.
Of course, yeah, I know.
Of
Julian, of course,
so it was
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
But I think they did a beautiful job as usual, and it was just everything we enjoyed. Even when Edith's dress was too big for her, it was so amazingly beautiful, and they figured out how to make it even more beautiful when it fit her.
As soon as she steps out of the car and says, "Has my gown arrived?" I'm like, "Oh no, poor Edith."
Poor Edith.
Like,
She's not gonna get her gown exactly.
Not again.
And then when it's horrible, it's so over. It's just
Yeah.
gone. Oh, geez, what are they gonna put her in? They're gonna the down crew downstairs is gonna put her in a tablecloth. What's gonna happen?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, but
She's the Marquess.
yes. Oh my God, she outranks them all.
Marchioness, that's it.
She outranks them all, and they lit her very. She was very glowy the whole time.
Oh yeah, let's just talk about the arc of Edith from the beginning of the series to this movie. I mean, she was befitting a
Marchioness.
Marchioness.
Okay, thank you.
Marchioness.
Yeah, I think so. Right? They showed her in her element, meaning at her castle or wherever it is, doing her thing. Yeah,
Her
that
little
was nice.
country home.
Absolutely.
little tiny home.
Her manse.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let's talk story. So obviously, the letter comes. The royals are visiting. They're doing a tour of the country.
Tour of the countryside.
And we're gonna make a stop at Downton, and that sets everything. And everybody at Downton very excited. Well, especially Mosley.
Yes.
Mosley.
So one of the things I just wanted to say was I saw an interview with Julian, Uncle Julian, as we call him. I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate that. But with Julian Fellows about, so in the TV show, each person gets, their, however much of their screen time.
Right.
When you've got an hour and,
they have story arcs allotted over 10 episodes or whatever. it is, 10 or
Exactly. So
12.
some people don't even show up, right?
Yeah.
And trying to get 20
is-
like 20 main characters into one
No easy task.
2-hour film.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that it was kind of almost a losing prospect to try.
Yeah, I was honestly going, how the
What
heck
are they
is-
going to do?
Yeah,
What story are they going to tell?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Are we
like-
going to follow one? Because usually, feature, you're following one storyline,
Yeah.
one person, then a couple ancillary.
And things around the other
and I was
side.
just, what a thankless job to try to fit them all in and have it still be a cohesive story.
Pretty much. So what he was talking about was, in that case, in a film, you have to get all of these characters around one event.
Yeah.
Which was obviously the royals coming to visit. So I thought that was a clever,
Yeah, it was a very good,
Smart.
clever
move,
device.
For sure.
Because and still we had, I was just about every character had their moment.
Yeah.
To have to, when it was all
We got
completely
to
set.
revisit
Exactly.
all of them. Yeah.
And you went, I loved how they didn't have to do anything. Your characters, because you know them, if you obviously know the show, they just a look from one of you, you go, that's Mosley. Exactly.
Okay, right. So the other thing I wanted to ask was, what was that about Silent? Did you see a preview, like a, what do they call it, a recap, like a recap of the series before you saw the film?
No.
Okay, so for some reason in our theater there was like an 18-minute, and I'm not exaggerating, full-on recap of the whole series, and it was narrated by Carson, right?
Carson,
and Phyllis. Yeah.
So
oh my gosh.
Mrs. Hughes and Carson.
Yeah, and so it was. If in case I'm sure many of you have seen it
from the beginning.
Of
the series.
They talked about Mr. Pamuk, and they talked about Sybil's, terrible death, and they talked about the dog, and they went over every single character over the course of 15 minutes, and it was a little odd.
Wow,
it was odd, but it was kind of cool.
Maybe they were testing for audiences.
Yeah, I don't know if they're doing it. I don't know if they only did it for that special preview day, because obviously we all saw it during the preview, or if they're going to do it in select theaters or no theaters. I don't know, but it was very interesting
get that.
And a little bit odd.
They literally
but it was also effective to some degree, because when they brought up Sybil, you just, oh God.
Yeah, every time. She got brought up a lot.
Great TV
movie, actually.
All right, so we're getting back to the story.
Okay,
we'll try to get through everything, but
we got.
I thought it was great to show how some people, like Daisy, why do we care?
Yeah.
She's not into this. She doesn't care about she's not into the royals. Big deal, exactly.
Doesn't care.
And everybody has questions about Branson and what's going to happen
what's he
there.
Gonna do?
Even suspicions, of course, which obviously that sets up that whole thing. But I just loved how Mosley was so excited. Carson was, he was like, this is great, but Mosley was just beside himself.
Way too excited.
Mosley, the school teacher, can I please come back?
Can I come back and
I'll do it for free.
And one of my favorite moments is when they're waiting out front, and the Royals finally show up. Mosley's in line and he can't catch his breath.
Can't breathe. Like, breathe, bro. Breathe. You're hyperventilating. Breathe.
And just because we're on the Mosley story, and then when he just flubs and he starts talking to the Royals without being addressed, and he's talking to them, telling them about, this food was made by Miss Patmore. And everybody at the table is just like, you buffoon. What are you
and then
doing?
His curtsy exit.
The curtsy.
The world's worst bow, curtsy, awkward.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
He was a great goofball.
Also, paralleling that, Mr. Bakewell, who was the grocer.
Right.
Oh, so when
God.
Mrs. Patmore goes to get the supplies for this visit, it was, what did he say? He said, it was the highlight of my life. The peak of my life. Mr. Bakewell. That cracked me up.
They were very hype about this.
So the whole village is gone.
Everybody needs to go.
Okay, so the royal staff arrives.
Right. Well, they're all excited. They, most of Downton is very excited to serve the royals.
Yes.
And, have it be such a big.
This is our moment to shine.
Find out
until the
page of the backstairs.
What?
Not a butler.
The page of the backstairs.
Everybody's got their thing to try to make their position,
important.
Exactly, more than it is.
Yes.
So, you're not a butler. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, and we get to meet them, and they're just ridiculously
they're cold,
pompous, and arrogant.
Jerks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny to see, it kind of knocks everybody for a loop. I remember, certainly Barrow was kind of like, he was not ready for that.
Not at all.
Right.
And even Carson, when he shows up, he's like, he's telling him to go around.
Like, you're going to go around the back. No, I will go this way. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Nobody's ready for this. And I thought they played it great. I love the casting on the Royals.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? What's her name? The Mrs. Hughes counterpart. But what's her position to be the housekeeper? Is
she was Lady Maud Bagshaw. Is that who you mean?
But her title is the housekeeper.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what her name was. I was thinking of the lady in waiting.
Mrs. Hughes' counterpart, basically.
Yeah. She was.
Her look was amazing.
She was terrible. And then they had her like finger wave hair a little bit, and like dark, and her eyes were just dark. I was like,
she didn't even say a word.
No, she didn't have to speak. I don't remember her really speaking. I just remember that last look at the table.
Oh, sour. Yeah, she had a sour puss.
I thought the casting, the costuming, everything was
perfect.
Great.
Perfect.
And then the chef and his
French chef,
Le Chef.
Le Chef.
This is great because we've never seen Downton, especially the downstairs, be
invaded.
Yeah, interlopers.
Yes.
Yeah, and so now it's like, what a great way to put, a wrench into things.
It's true.
Yeah.
Have some conflict without having it be internal.
Yes.
So now we have to band together, which is exactly what they do, because we come up with, we can't put up with this.
That's why I couldn't.
What? You couldn't handle
when
that?
they did that, I was like, this is the cheesiest thing
Oh,
in the
the revolt?
world, but
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's so terrible when they go in the wine
cellar.
Yeah, exactly.
and they're locking the door and they're like, we've got a plan. We're hatching a plan, guys.
The wine
What
cellar
am I
conspiracy.
watching?
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
It works.
So when they did that, I was like, this is silly.
It's so silly.
So silly, because it got a tiny bit campy at that point.
Uh-huh.
A tiny bit.
Yeah. Right?
Well, I don't think Julian Fellows he doesn't shy away from camp every once in a while.
No, you're
That's when he
right.
does it.
I
That's-
agree with that.
yeah.
I agree. Because you know what? You just got to go there. Because
That's why we
what else
accept
are
it.
you going to do?
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. Exactly. That's why we accept
it.
it.
here's
Because
the-
we love them.
And it could have been really campy, and I think they pulled it back
And
just
that would have
enough.
been annoying.
Yes. I think they pulled it back
Because this
just
one,
enough.
I think that was pretty much it. I had almost the same reaction as you, Courtney, which was, oh, this is just silly, but I'm in.
No, but I'm here.
But, okay, but here's why.
could have gone south,
Exactly, but I
yeah.
think the reason why you're in is because everybody just wanted to hang with them.
Yes.
And we haven't seen them, and I think we've.
We
Yeah,
missed
well, that's what it
our
is.
peaks
And
for
we
love
3.5
that.
we don't
years.
want those interlopers
Yes.
getting in there. It's like, wait a minute, we want
We
them.
want Mosley to have his chance.
Exactly.
Don't mess with our peeps.
You know what I'm saying?
So now we have someone to root for and someone to root against, which is what you need in the
Yes.
drama. So yeah, we were that's
in
right.
there.
Yeah, but just part of it was they would never do that.
No.
What's that?
They would never, mount an
in such a
insurrection
way.
or
Well,
revolt.
here's what I thought
'Cause
was
they're
also
such
clever.
polite people.
Yeah, except you also have it's 1927
the
now,
times have
and the
changed.
times definitely have changed. We
All
are
right.
definitely out of the
Yes.
Edwardian era.
Yes.
and we are moving on, right? And
Not
so
hardly wearing corsets at all.
exactly.
No,
So
exactly.
I thought because we saw that with Daisy, we saw that with the youngers, so to speak.
Yes.
and I thought
The
that's why
wanting
it
more.
worked because they're all trying to figure out this new dynamic and where do we fit in and
Yes.
how much can we push the envelope.
Yeah.
And the boundaries, and I thought that's why
I
it
agree.
worked.
Because they had Carson to be that, like, okay,
Right.
you got to get on board, dude.
Exactly.
And he's like, we can't do this. So
Yeah.
we got both
Yeah.
positions and it made it fair. And I think they also built through, like, because we have moments with, like, Anna when she talks to Mary and they
Right.
talk about, oh, you've been a good friend or what have you. And friend.
Right.
Like, you can tell that sort of those divisions
Delineations,
between
yeah.
the upstairs and downstairs
Are getting
slowly
blurred.
getting blurred and
Yeah.
even more so than before. So that's,
Yeah.
even though it was cheesy, I ran with it.
Same.
With my pretzel and my wine. It was
Same.
great. It was so
Same.
Yeah, let me
same,
ask you,
same.
how long did you? Okay, cheesy, and then you went for it. How long was that minute? Or
Okay,
that
I definitely, as soon as it happened, okay. As soon as Mosley's energy was like way too much to begin with, so I was like, okay, where is this going? And then when they do go into the cellar, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous, but I'm riding with it. And I just, as soon as they left the cellar and like we got, I don't remember what was right after they came out of the cellar.
Well, they started with I think one of the things was the phone call they got to
Oh,
get
the
rid
phone
of the
call.
footmen.
To get them called
with
away.
Barrow and Ellis.
And I was still kind of like, really? Does that really work? Is it real? Oh, but he's so happy with his cute boyfriend. I go with it. Because they came running out and they were
Right.
so happy together,
Yeah.
and they hired really attractive people. Barrow's little boy thing was very cute, and the plumber guy, very cute. So I feel like that also just sort of made
so
you
it worked
just-
for you because of the misdirection.
I mean,
And
yes.
the wine and the pretzel.
The wine and the pretzel also. But yeah, I would say the misdirection definitely was a part of that because even the plumber whole situation was an interesting little moment. But I was like, oh, he's cute. That works.
Yeah.
The casting, that's why they cast. I mean, that's why they cast hot men.
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So, and so we know how superficial that Courtney is.
Yes, I'm very superficial.
All right, so let's see. What else do we have? We have we find out that Edith's pregnant,
Oh wow, yeah, that's true.
She got a baby coming.
right?
Yes.
On the heels of finding out her husband's going to be going off to Africa
Exactly,
for
yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the gown was so big. They were.
Yeah, they were
anticipating.
There's a parade. And
Oh, there's a parade. There's a lunch. There's a dinner.
through a different town than they used in the TV show.
Although it was supposedly the same town. They
Same
just
town,
filmed
yeah.
it a different.
It just-
time.
yeah.
So.
And then Tom
Yeah.
thwarts an assassination
Right,
attempt on the
let's
king.
talk Tom because you didn't like this, right? Courtney, you're not sure about this.
And again, like we only got to see it once, and I hate that because it's not fresh in my brain, and I want to see it again. I didn't didn't really buy into how that was sort of going down.
The way it was rolling out.
It was kind of like, okay, yeah. It just,
Well,
it didn't quite, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with my phone right now.
Well, let me talk about why I liked it. First of all, I thought they've always had a difficult time trying to figure out what to do with Branson. I thought it was great that he
because
obviously
he's the outsider.
Absolutely, and it was great when he was the foil for Earl, and then when he came part of the family, and obviously the tragedy of Sybil and all that other stuff. But and then when he was helping with the estate with Mary, all that was great and everything. But I'm going, what can you do with this guy? And the fact that he still has this residual effect of being Irish and Republican and all that other stuff, I thought that was great that they brought that back. I liked that because it remembered the history of that.
Right, and it harkens back to his origin.
And he's and he's never gonna be all in terms of how the other people see him, even though he has been completely loyal, and in a lot of ways the most difficult position to be in. He still has his principles, yet he loves this family. He knows he's right for his daughter and all that other stuff. So it's not an easy position to be in because he's never fully going to be accepted by everybody.
Right.
But I feel like the relationship, and maybe I don't remember, they didn't know each other previously.
Who's that? The new guy?
Chetwood?
Yeah. No, they did not.
And I feel like if perhaps he had actually been someone from Tom's past, where he was like around that, I would have sort of bought into it a little bit more. But like I didn't like that a random guy just showed up and was like, hey, like what do you do?
Well, I do like the way they covered it because he just assumed that they're going to check up on me. And that he's a guy.
He's a spy.
He's making sure I'm not going to do something. Which that plays into Tom's character because he's going to assume that people are going to think that of him because they always have. So that part of it worked for me. Although I can absolutely agree with your point that it would have been interesting to have somebody from his old days.
Yeah,
more conflicting.
Yeah, it's like now what do I do? Especially if they had a history. It's like and to take him out that way. But I still like that he played the hero, and I still like that. I also like that Mary wasn't sure of him, so she's even Mary, who he's been working with closely. Sure? She still is like
they've become very close friends.
But what I didn't like is that there was never the hey. You really thought that of me?
Yeah.
I wanted that scene.
Have that moment.
I wanted that scene, and so for her to, I have to apologize and for her to have to say something about it. I wanted that. I thought that would have been good for Mary's character too.
Yeah.
So that would have been fun. But I do like that he did that, and I also liked, especially liked the fact that he was able to speak to Princess Mary.
Yes, without
him even knowing. And I bought that he didn't know her because
same.
How could he? It's not.
Why
like
would he?
He's not on Instagram.
He didn't say there's no Instagram.
Yeah,
what are we doing? Yeah.
I thought that part was great. And again, he had these great revelatory scenes without being expository, and you got to learn. And because of that, we took time with him. I thought it was great with Lucy. I loved the whole Lucy part of it, and saw that coming, but I don't care.
Yes.
I liked the way it rolled out.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be the cornerstone of the next movie.
Absolutely.
Yes. So they were like, yes, Tom's going to have a house. He's going to be
and honestly, when they were doing the whole Princess Mary thing, and the whole husband, I'm going, I don't get why is this part. It's like, but it was. Sure, she's the royal's daughter, so of course, let's bring her in.
Yeah.
But when he stepped in there, when Tom came and sat with her on the bench, and they had that, and I was like, oh, nice that they used Tom for this, because he's unassuming about it all. He's just talking to her like she's just a human being, not talking to a title.
Exactly.
Right.
And I thought that was, especially for Mary's sake, because then she's got to know this is a
genuine
yes,
person.
Exactly.
From a genuine
so she
place.
can actually make a change and make a turn, and you could see that happen.
Yes.
And then
I appreciated that.
And then the whole Lucy thing when he's talking to her and he goes, I wish we could dance together, and I'm going, and then when you can. It's like, why are you standing on ceremony? But I guess again, because of his character, he's not going to disrupt that.
Yes.
But to have them at the end and the golden hour and the light on
dancing
that,
out on,
wasn't
forget
that
it.
Pretty?
Yes, it was great, and we got our nice romance in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for so long, I've been wanting him to have something. Because
someone.
Exactly.
You want him to love again.
Because Sybil was such a highly endeared character, and you just want something for him.
You want him to not be heartbroken anymore. Find love again.
Yeah, nicely woven. And since we're on that, so let's talk Lucy and her mom.
Yeah,
because that deals
Lady
with
Maud.
Violet. Exactly. So she's
Maud Bagshaw.
She's a cousin of the Earl.
Distant
cousin, I guess, or something. And the families have a falling out.
I wish we knew what it was about.
Yeah.
What it really was about.
Roll back. What happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Had to be something bad.
But right, I thought it was interesting when we brought in Isabel figures out that Lucy is Lady Maud's daughter.
Yes.
Right.
And says, you know what? You have to tell Violet. And she's like, I'm not going to tell Violet. And then
she will only leave you alone if you tell her.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
And she insists. And then when she tells Violet, Violet's like,
I wish you told me. Yeah.
yeah.
But
What was she said something about I'm not the
I'm not what you think, like something to the effect of I'm not what you think I am. Yeah,
I'm not
wish I
some
got that.
virgin. I can't remember what it was,
Yeah.
but it was great. It was a perfect Violet thing to say.
Well, it's interesting because they both see each other not how they are.
Right.
They both see each other
Yes.
from a past.
Yes.
And they've colored everything with those glasses. So and it's Isabel who always sees things a lot clearer. if you ask me.
Yes.
So, 'cause
Yeah.
she's
and
got
is something of a
perspective.
peacekeeper.
Yes, exactly. And she also knows, as much as they spar, she also knows that at her core, Violet is always
Violet
going
is
to do
a
the right thing.
love. She's a lover.
And
She
it's great
is.
seeing those two spar again, though, Isabel and
Always.
Violet.
Couple of Dowager Countess lines that I loved. Machiavelli is
Is
frequently
underrated.
misunderstood. Did I get that wrong?
I
Or
don't
underrated?
have the actual quote because I was
Okay.
typing in the dark, but
Yeah.
I had Machiavelli.
Yeah.
Is underrated.
And then
Yep.
sarcasm is the lowest,
Lowest form of wit. I did have that one as well. We wrote the same.
Those were two of my favorites.
Yeah.
And her delivery too.
Oh, they were so good. I love them.
If you get a chance, guys, just go Google on YouTube or search on YouTube the Dowager Countess's 10 best lines
Oh,
or
yeah.
something like that. There's
Yeah.
one that I think
What is
BuzzFeed
a
put
Weekend?
together. Yeah, and they're just
My favorite is still
hilarious.
going to be, I'll take that as a compliment, and she says, I must have said it wrong.
Yeah.
I use that. I still,
I know
use
you
that.
do. I've seen you do it.
I will say
To
things.
me.
I'll say things just so I hope to get the feed line. I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Just so I can-
Just so you can crack that.
Because
joke.
why, John?
Exactly.
Because it's always about the joke.
Oh yeah,
No,
this
they were.
is way to go, Julian. It's a
They
great
were
line.
so great.
But
so-
I really love that storyline. I love that the way they set it out. I like that Violet was so adamant about how her son should get what's
He's
right.
blood, he's
It's all
blood,
about
he's
the tradition.
blood.
Exactly.
Yep.
And Grantham is the Earl is just, hey, let it go,
Whatever.
please treat her like a cousin, and
Yep.
it couldn't be
Whatever.
Yeah, less concerned about it.
Right?
And okay, did you know when you first met Lucy that it was the daughter? Or how long did that take? Did you think she was a lover? Did you
For a quarter of a second, I thought it was a lover,
Yeah,
and then I was just
Oh.
like, yeah, no.
I never got lover, but as soon as there was wherever, I don't know at what point that Violet was going, but it's not. She's not blood. She's not blood.
Right.
I was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah, she is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, and part of the reason why I thought they couldn't be lovers is because then there's just too many gay
Yeah, it's-
gay
yeah.
storylines
Like, that's too much
in
going
the
on with
story.
that. We're not
So
But
I'm like, yeah,
I
I
thought,
don't go that.
you know, I just love the scene between Isabel and was it what's her name? Maud? What's her
Lady
name?
Maud.
Lady Maud. I just liked it. I liked that, you know, Isabel's talk about, you know, Violet has her way of confrontation, you know, and Isabel is just is in the room but great with how she lays it out.
Her
and
authority. She
Yes.
just kind of walked in.
yeah, exactly. And, you know, and the fact that she opens the scene, opens the conversation with how long did, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just great.
How long's it been, and who else knows?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
I thought they did a great job with that. All right, what else we want to talk about? Because we have lots to get to still.
And we don't have a lot of time.
I was
I
like,
don't know if
we're
you're
like
looking.
running out of
Oh
time.
my God!
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
So-
One of the things, the Queen, so the dinner
Yeah.
with Mosley, you know, and his thing. I also liked the moment where the Queen says that she's used to having people behave strangely around us.
Yeah.
It happens.
I am sure.
Oh, there was that moment with the King and the Princess Anne, Mrs. Princess Mary. Excuse me, when she says that lets him know about Tom, and she says, "Say something
say
nice
something
to him,"
nice to him,
and he
yeah.
says, "I know more than you think, and I have more than one reason to be thankful."
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a nice little
quite
moment,
little
And you could,
loveliness.
and even that's when I thought it was great because Mary's like, "What is she talking about?" And it's like, "Oh, she's talking."
They have no idea the king
Yeah,
is
exactly.
talking to
Yeah,
you.
mhm.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice.
Yep, Tom's
So,
in there.
so Perot had you know, again, this is another character from the beginning of the series. Talk about an arc for the character.
Wow,
for the series.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
From where he is to where he is now, and the big raid, and we get all that stuff, and
Yep.
he finally might have, you know, a friend,
He's got
and
a
then more than a
friend.
friend, and then, you know, which, you know, nice.
It was very nice to see him get to be.
Yeah, it was also nice to see him not conniving.
Yes.
Or if he was conniving, at least he was conniving with everybody else.
Right.
Exactly.
In the subterfuge of getting it. Yeah.
And I love when he got upset when Carson came and the whole scene with Lord Grantham and how he just walked out and Lord Grantham was like, oh, like whatever he said, he's like, oh, he's spicy or like whatever it is.
And a principal, I didn't realize that.
He was like, oh, he's not going to get fired.
And
it's a different time.
Maud seeing Violet differently, now he's seeing Barrow differently, which is interesting, because who knows what could that lead to. That might be nice. It certainly could. The trajectory for Barrow is very different than it was in the beginning.
No kidding. No kidding. Yeah, interesting that all the evil people, all the demons, all the what would you call them? The antagonists were on the outside.
Yeah, that's what I thought was a great, Julian, it was a very, very smart thing to do.
Because it really unifies us for everybody.
And it allows people we get to see them in a different way because they're not fighting against each other, they're fighting
somebody else.
Outside influence,
I love that the royals are interlopers. Invading Downton.
Yes, exactly.
Did we love the splendor of the ball?
Yeah.
All right.
When they all start dancing. Yeah, that was the camera goes on top of all them spinning.
They take their time with the cinematography again. Oh, we have let's real quick. Let's talk Mary, because in the beginning she's like wondering, should we even do this? Should we keep this going?
Yes.
So that's the overriding, which has been that's the plot for the
since
whole thing.
Yeah.
But now it's even more so because. What a better way to go out if the royals visit? Fine, let's have the visit and let's be done.
Done.
Exactly, and we get to see Mary just doesn't think Barrow's up to it. That's why but she's still fighting. She's got to get Carson.
So she gets Carson there.
It looks like Branson's going to do something that's going to really hurt the reputation.
She's
out there
there
doing that. Yeah, exactly.
Still fighting.
Exactly.
She was out in the rain putting up the chairs.
Yes, exactly.
Like a regular worker.
Yeah. So you still see her, even though she has these doubts, she's still trying to keep. And that's why when they have the scene with Violet and Mary.
And that's why.
Go ahead.
So literally at that like 3 seconds before that scene came in, I was like, I need my gut wrenched. Where's it happening? And then boom, and I'm like, oh, I asked for it. I got it.
Yeah. I was like, just don't let me see her die in the movie. Like just today. And I'm so glad that that's how they left it. And it's like, clearly she's going to die.
And
but
usually,
I couldn't.
Courtney's the one that says, oh, she's going to die.
She will die.
Well, I really was thinking she was going to die, but we got through so much of the movie and Violet's like, fine. And
can't die now.
Ended on that.
And then I'm like, you cannot. But when they had that conversation, I was worried and I didn't know what time it was or how long the movie had been going. And I'm like, are they really about to take us in a few months? And like, they're going to take Violet in front of us? Like, thank you for not doing that.
Yeah, because that would have been like a Sybil move.
Yes. I was like, I can't, like, this movie cannot end that way.
Yeah.
No.
Like, so I'm very glad with how they did it. We know it's happening.
Yeah.
And
it's going to happen off camera.
She's like, you're the best of me.
Yes, you're the very best of me.
I melted into a puddle.
Too.
How many?
A puddle.
How many women wouldn't want
puddle.
their grandmother to say that?
I love. And she was like, I like how she dismissed Lord Grantham. She's like, he ain't never. No. It's
all you, honey.
It's always been you, girl.
Yes.
It's always been you.
Yes.
I loved it.
And so then Henry comes back and Mary says, should we do this?
Yeah.
And she's like, well.
I think we're stuck with it.
Yeah, he says, I think we're stuck with it, aren't we? Yeah.
And she was like, okay, confirmation.
Yes.
But I also like how Lord Grantham and Lady Grantham, like, they feel like the most vacant people, I guess, of like all the characters. They're just kind of like la-di-da-da-da, dancing around. They don't really have a point. And like all this craziness is going on. Mary's stressed out. The house, the roof has got to be fixed. And they're just off living. Oh, this is so lovely.
And I'm going, well, that's kind of reflective of their era. It's like they're in between. We're not the old guard. We're not even the new guard. We're just kind of stuck
just
here.
in the middle.
Yeah, so like, we're not going to have to worry about what's going to do that.
Exactly.
We won't be here. So they're in this state of limbo.
It's like Elizabeth Montgomery's always smiling. Just like,
yeah, exactly. And the Earl doesn't have anything to do anymore. His responsibility.
He just has a dog.
I honestly thought when he was on that dais and he's in his uniform, I go, that's it. He's just put the uniform on. You got the title. That's it. You don't have to worry about it. You're not doing the day-to-day anymore.
Yes.
Right.
So that's true. That's reflective.
Yeah. But Lady did help with Edith.
Yeah, that's true.
Got him.
All right, Tamara, you wanted to talk something before we
I just wanted to talk box office.
Let's do that. Okay,
right.
great.
So the movie rolled out in the UK and 17 markets this last week, and the weekend estimate is $12.5 million
For worldwide?
for those 17 markets.
For those 17 markets, okay.
Yeah, and then it opens here next week. What do you guys think about how it's going to be received?
I don't. It's such a worldwide phenomenon that I don't see having a problem having a good presence. I think 17 million. I don't. Is that what the quote was?
12.5 million.
I don't see them having a problem getting that.
Yeah.
In fact, I some reports I said they were now estimating 14.
Yeah.
So
in the U.S.
No.
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Yeah.
When it opens next week.
Exactly for the weekend.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. So okay. I don't think they'll have a problem.
They should. Yeah. And I think people are hungry for other movies other than Marvel.
Yeah, it's good marketing.
And
thank you.
It's like it's out there, and
it's against Rambo, and what was the other thing that's out there right now? I can't remember. But
I don't know.
it's counter programming for
Hustlers
sure.
just did really well for the weekend, like which is not like one of those big movies. So I think people want some cute stories, and even though my small circle doesn't signify the world, I've got random people asking me, well, like, can you watch it if you weren't like if you didn't watch the series? And I was like, it's a self-contained story.
It is absolutely. Yeah.
But and
it's cinematic
enjoy it,
and
and it's beautiful. Like you will, if you enjoy a little English drama, you'll like it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think people are gonna go see it.
I do too.
I'm really happy that they did it, and I hope they keep going. Oh, Uncle Julian's doing Belgravia on Epix or Epix. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. So that's coming up for him, and I'm looking forward to that.
And they've already said if they have enough people coming, they'll make another.
They'll do another movie.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But Violet will not be in it.
Yeah.
She did.
It will happen after she's. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
get. We don't know. Who knows?
No, they've said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've said she's not doing anymore. She's not doing anymore.
Done.
No,
she's done.
She's done.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, it looks like we're running out of time.
Very
fast. So, last thoughts.
fast.
Anything else you want? I know it does, but it was a 2-hour movie, and we're trying to do it in an hour.
In less than an hour. Yeah. I would just like to invite anybody who's watching this to check us out when we do Call the Midwife.
Oh, absolutely.
At the Christmas
special.
special.
That's soon.
This team,
2 months.
we love our English dramas, and that's one of them.
We do.
Cool.
Yeah, and just hit us up and let us know what you guys thought of the movie, because I'm always interested in conversation about the movie. Yeah.
And speaking of where they can hit you up, Tamara, where can they?
At Tamara Berg on Twitter, and my website is tamaracentral.com.
Okay, I'm everywhere on the social media universe at Stuart Starlet.
And I am like those in the Edwardian era. You can't find me anywhere in the digital
You can write
universe.
them a letter.
Yeah.
That's right. And it'll get to me by train.
With a seal on it.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody. It's good talking to you. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Cup of tea.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.